Hi, it's Conor Svensson here, founder and CEO of Web3 Labs, and this is your Week in Blockchain on Monday, the 20th of September 2021. The highlights this week include a hoax about Walmart adopting Litecoin sends the prices skyrocketing of the cryptocurrency, MicroStrategy buys yet more Bitcoin, EY embraces the Polygon network, the Solana network has a major outage, and an OpenSea executive is caught front-running NFT sales. So there was a fake piece of news that was released this week that said that Walmart was actually going to be adopting the cryptocurrency Litecoin to enable customers to transact with their e-commerce sites using it. And this was a piece of news that was actually picked up by the big news providers, including CNBC and Reuters there. It alleged that this pay with Litecoin option was going to come onto the Walmart websites starting at the beginning of October, and it was something that was done with partnership with the Litecoin Foundation. However, roughly an hour after this release came out, someone from Walmart confirmed it was actually a fake piece of news there, and that there was absolutely nothing to suggest that the two were working together. But this didn't stop the speculators having really bumped up the price of Litecoin during this, and we actually saw it go up as much as 35% following the announcment. And then, of course, it sharply fell off the back of it. Again, it just shows how quickly the sentiment can change in the market. When some fake news like this actually gets picked up. MicroStrategy are continuing to embrace and buy yet more Bitcoin. They've now spent almost $250 million on acquiring over 5,000 more Bitcoins. And so this brings their total holding up to over 114,000 Bitcoin, which has got a valuation of over $3 billion. Coinbase, the crypto exchange, has announced a $1.5 billion private offering that it's planning to do in senior notes due in 2028 and 2031, according to a blog post that they've put out there. This is in order to continue their investments in product development as well as potential investments in acquisitions of other companies, according to them. They've also announced that their first steps to actually start supporting the trading of crypto futures. And so what they've done is they've filed with the National Futures Association to become a registered futures commission merchant. And so this is really opening up the field of derivatives so that people can actually speculate on where the prices are going for these cryptos. And it completely makes sense, of course, for Coinbase to be able to expand the number of different products that they offer on the platform, in addition to just the kind of spot trading which it provides right now for buying and selling cryptos. The drone racing lead which has competitors building custom-built quadcopters and racing them using VR-like goggles, has partnered up with Algorand. So the intent here is that this is going to be a 5-year deal, which will see the drone racing lead adopt Algorand's blockchain technology there and provide title rights for their World Championship season. So again, it's another fun place to see crypto starting to make an impact in terms of the advertising and promotional rights around this potentially emerging industry of drone racing. The country Colombia as well, they've actually started using gamification technology to teach the young about crypto and stock trading. And this has come from the government over there, who's funded a new app, a board game and a book to help educate kids about investing in cryptocurrencies and the stock market. And this was actually proposed in response to a government appeal for innovative projects that can help foster financial literacy among young Colombians. Financial literacy, it's one of those areas which I think there's not a single country in the world that wouldn't benefit from providing more financial literacy within their population. So it's definitely a good step forward. Again, of course, the crypto markets are very volatile, so there are certain risks with it. But at least if people can get a handle on this when they're younger, that's certainly a good thing. Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, has made it into Time's 100 most influential people list, which is a great milestone to see, given the impact that Ethereum and his work in creating it has had on the wider crypto ecosystems in terms of DeFi, NFTs. It's great to actually see that recognition appear there in Time magazine. And so some of the other people alongside that are people like Dolly Parton, Elon Musk, and so on. So it's definitely a good list for him to make it into. AMC Theatres in the US as well have announced that they're going to accept Bitcoin for payments by the end of 2021, but they're also looking into Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash as well. with this. So again, just opening up more crypto payment rails, and in one of those areas that's a good opportunity for these cinema goers to encourage people to just cash in some of their crypto for cinema tickets. In enterprise news, EY has actually selected the Polygon platform to help scale their enterprise blockchain products. So EY, they've got a number of different products, including OpsChain, their blockchain analyzer, and what they're going to be doing is integrating with Polygon and allow transactions to be committed to Ethereum as well there. So EY are very much so proponents of building on top of public blockchain networks rather than doing the private permission blockchain. So it's definitely a good step forward to see them embracing Polygon too, given all of the traction it has around projects supporting it as a way to scale and provide much greater transaction throughput on Ethereum. It's a really positive sign to see EY there as well. The Ethereum Foundation too, and the Ethereum name service, which provides in effect name records associated with Ethereum wallet addresses. They're backing a proposed system for secure signing using a decentralized identity provider called Spruce. And so this was something that was selected after an RFP went out by the Ethereum Foundation and ENS in July, which is one where they want to actually build a single sign-in process using OAuth, but using Ethereum behind the scenes. So instead of working with Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatever else to actually sign into a platform, they want people to be able to actually use Ethereum there. So you've got a decentralized solution for that. And so it's a really positive sign, and it'll definitely be a interesting project to watch as well, because the idea of being able to have these decentralized identities that can replace these centralized services, it's just a really powerful thing on the internet there. Apple have actually blocked the Ethereum wallet Gnosis Safe from their App Store due to concerns about NFT products on it. Because with the Gnosis Safe, it's people can use it to actually manage the custody of their crypto funds, but they can also view NFTs as well. And Apple aren't too keen on seeing the integration with NFTs, because Apple's view is that the app includes or accesses paid digital content services by means that isn't via in-app purchases, which they're not happy about there. So hopefully Gnosis will be able to get over that hurdle there, because of course it can drastically affect the availability of their app if it's not supported on the App Store. Square has actually joined the Patent Non-Aggression Pact through the Open Invention Network as well. So this is the Open Invention Network is an organization that wants to reduce patents aggression in favor of open source software. And so what this means is that Square can cross-license its patents to other members on a royalty-free basis, which reduces patent risk. And certainly patent risk is one of those areas which is a big problem especially for organizations when they're working with software that's there might be patents behind the scenes that they don't own, and then the owners of the patents might come after them with an expensive legal case to actually claim IP rights over it. So to have these companies getting involved in this is a good thing for everyone, because it just means that this IP that's being created can actually be shared and used by others without the risks of potential prosecution down the line over IP, which can make or break companies there. BlockApps, the enterprise blockchain provider, they've actually launched a net zero TraceCarbon blockchain enterprise network. So the idea here is that TraceCarbon provides sustainability traceability for the CO2 ecosystem, and makes it easier for companies to comply and provide greater transparency over things like corporate reporting and product lifecycle analysis. And they've built this on top of their Strato platform, which is a well-established enterprise platform there. The Audius blockchain-based music platform, they've raised another $5 million round, and so they've got over 6 million monthly users, and they've raised $5 million from a number of big names in the music industry. So this includes people like Katy Perry, the Chainsmokers, Nas, Pusha T, Mark Gillespie, and industry leaders like the former CEO of Sony Music. And so seeing these people getting on board with the platform is just a very positive sign for people supporting their vision there. And then in protocol news, Revuto, which is a decentralized micro-lending and borrowing platform, they've announced the launch of a $2 million investment fund dedicated to Cardano-based startups. And so this is the first fund that's been created to support and expand the Cardano ecosystem ecosystem. And the intent here is that startups building on top of Cardano can get investment before they actually do like an ICO or equivalent there. And so certainly with Cardano launching their smart contract platform recently on their testnet, it makes sense for these organizations starting to be coming together to offer funds to encourage people to help build out the ecosystems. We've already seen on a lot of these other networks like Polkadot, also Avalanche, Solana, they've got very big developer and ecosystem funds there, and so of course seeing similar things starting to emerge over there in the Cardano ecosystem. The layer 2 Ethereum technology, Arbitrum, they've suddenly had a big increase in the total value locked on the platform since they launched at the end of August. This is according to data from L2 Beat, and they have what's called an optimistic roll-up solution. They've secured more than $2.2 billion in total value locked, and this has significantly increased where literally last Friday just gone it was 37,000 ETH, and then by the Sunday, which would have been just over a week ago, it's over 650,000. And so it's amazing rate of growth that we've actually seen there, and of course means that there's a relatively high degree of confidence in the underlying technology there, which uses these optimistic roll-ups, as they're called, which basically enables you to process transactions at a higher speed and lower cost. The Solana blockchain had a major outage this week, so the actual blockchain was unable to process transactions on Tuesday. What happened was that there was a large increase in transaction load. We're peaking at 400,000 transactions per second, which flooded the transaction processing queue and caused the network to start forking, which basically meant people could not transact on the network. And so it took multiple restarts for them to actually get it up and running. But it's something that's, although people say that the Solana network is in beta, it doesn't really bode very well for them having an outage here, because of course the whole thing with blockchains is that they are meant to be unstoppable, so to speak. And so whilst people haven't lost faith in Solana as such, it's still one of those things that just isn't great for them. But I'm sure unless they have more down the line, it probably won't be a big problem for them in the longer run. Google Cloud have announced that they're working now with Dapper Labs, who are the creators of the NBA Top Shots and the original creators of the CryptoKitties NFT platform a few years back. And what they're doing is they're going to be partnering up with Google Cloud, who's going to be a network operator for the Flow blockchain to help it scale. Apparently, it's already got more than 50 applications on it, including some big NFT collections like NBA Top Shots that we've mentioned. And the intent here anyway is that they can just throw more computational power behind that. The Avalanche protocol, which is another one of the blockchain protocols that provides significant transaction throughput and is positioning itself as another competitor for Ethereum. They've managed to close another $230 million round. And so this is in a token sale to institutional investors, which had Three Arrows Capital, Dragonfly, the r/crypto fund there as well. And this is to further boost the DeFi on the platform, as well as new enterprise tools. Again, similar story to what we've seen with Solana and Polkadot and others, just with raising significant rounds there to help grow the overall ecosystems on these platforms, which will likely end up potentially getting bigger, but running in all likelihood alongside like Ethereum and some of these other ones there. In DeFi news, the derivatives exchange D-Trade has raised a $22.8 million market making fund, which is the intent here is to provide the ecosystem with higher liquidity. This is all about helping DeFi adoption on top of the Polkadot blockchain. And so this will enable D-Trade to launch with a lot of deep liquidity, which basically means that there's going to, when people start trading on the platform, they'll actually be they'll be able to support decent volumes of exchanges happening on top of it, or trading of different crypto assets, rather than just having these small pools there as such. So the idea here is that it'll just help bootstrap the decentralized exchange sooner there. Huobi Ventures, they've launched a $10 million fund for an early stage GameFi investment. And so the idea here is that to gamify projects that combine decentralized finance alongside gaming, that it will invest in that. And so the idea is that people can actually earn funds by playing with these different DeFi based apps. So another kind of emerging field that's kind of coming out of DeFi there. The Yield Guild games, they're using the Hello DAO to help gamers actually get earnings into DeFi. So this is Yield Guild Games. They're an investor in the what's called the play to earn arena, who have teamed up with the protocol Hello DAO to allow basically gamers on the platform to use its stable coin and gain yield there. And so what this basically means is that gamers can actually earn tokens by playing these games using things like Axie Infinity on top of the network. But by working with this Hello DAO, it helps the firms that are building out financial tools to track performance and give ways for gamers to actually increase the overall earnings that they get there. So again, it's another area with a lot of innovation happening in right now. In the world of NFTs, it's been a bit of a turbulent week. We've spoken previously about the OpenSea marketplace and how the transaction volumes there were going through the roof, and it was responsible for the majority of transactions that were taking place on Ethereum. And what came out this week was that Nate Chastain, its former head of product, was actually front-running NFT releases. So he was actually buying up NFTs before they were appearing on the website and then selling them once they went live in order to make additional funds there. So whilst what he did there wasn't illegal, because OpenSea is a marketplace for selling NFTs, something that the wider community have come down very hard on, because of course, if you have executives doing things like this at the organization, how can you it kind of breaches the trust that the organization has to its customers there. So it's something that has the OpenSea have obviously acted swiftly to get him out the door because of it, but at the same time it's also started this narrative around, well, maybe we need a truly decentralized marketplace more akin to the Uniswap type platform, but for actually selling of NFTs there. So it'll be interesting to see how the wider community actually responds to this. So Tencent in China, they've announced that they've partnered with the Dunhuang Academy to digitize the landmark wall paintings of the Magawa Caves, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in China's Gansu province. And so this is the actual first move that Tencent have made into the NFT market. And so what they're thinking about is how they can use it to protect and promote cultural heritage, which is a really nice thing to see. So they're planning to issue 9,999 NFTs on its their permission blockchain, which is called Xinchain, and each digitizes a unique painting from the Magawa Caves. The NFT scaling startup Immutable has raised a $60 million Series B funding, and so this is an Australian startup who created the Ethereum Layer 2 protocol, Immutable X, and this is brought its total funding raise to 77.5 million, and they included Bitcraft Ventures, King River Capital, Galaxy Interactive, Fabric Ventures, Alameda Research included in the round. So what Immutable X do is they tackle the high cost of minting NFTs by providing basically a layer 2 that can help address that. A generative artist has managed to get $5.4 million off the back of this new project called Art Blocks. With this artist's work, it depicts flowers with potentially an infinite field of foliage. Has made over $5 million through a sale on Art Blocks, which is an NFT platform. And so this was the actual piece was called Fragments of an Infinite Field, which was made up of 1,024 pieces, was sold through a Dutch auction, and the entire set sold out in under an hour. Again, another successful project there to emerge. Then other news as well, there's the Koii Network. They've got a new Dynamic NFT standard, and so this is partnering with an artist called Darren Klein, and they're looking at this idea of dynamic NFTs. And what they want to do is they want to create these digital collectibles, and then depending on how well their owners look after them, they may or may not remain in pristine condition. So it's bringing that kind of scarcity angle that exists with real physical objects to digital. And so these NFTs can grow, morph, degrade, and regenerate based on external stimuli. And they're using something called proof of real traffic here. And the system measures the amount of attention users show to each NFT and alters the representation of the object based on the quantity and quality of this. I have to say, you do question, what the incentive there is for owners. Like, you can buy a regular NFT that just stays pristine, but then if you buy one that will potentially degenerate over time because you don't look after it, it sounds like it's adding a bit more hassle to actually looking after them, and so detracting from some of the appeal there. Will definitely be a fun project to watch to see what happens. So moving on to our metrics now, we have the crypto market cap has stayed pretty static this week. It's up just under 3%. Assets locked in DeFi are up almost 6%, just over 92 billion. And the 7 days NFTs, we've seen over 250 million in sales there, which is an increase of almost 50% on last week, with an average price down about 20% to just over $5,000. That's all we have for this week. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel, like them, and comment on them as well. Share them with people who might be interested too. Links to all items discussed are available in the show notes and at the website weekinblockchain.com. We've also just launched a new podcast called Blockchain Innovators, where I speak to individuals who've made significant contributions to the blockchain ecosystem, find out what inspires them, get their thoughts on the latest industry news and events spanning crypto, blockchain, protocols, DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, and IoT. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.